Thank you both. So hello, welcome to the AsyncAPI public meeting. First crowdy meeting after holidays. It's already visible holidays are over because of the amount of people joining the call. Hello, all of you. With almost all of you were here already at least once, except of a new person. At least for me, she's in the middle of the gallery view. So we usually allow people to introduce themselves if they want to the community before we start the meeting. So that's the best moment for you, Alejandra.
Hi, everyone. Nice to kind of meet you and see some of your faces. I like that I can see Barbaño's face. So I'm glad that it's not just a whole bunch of dudes. I'm Alejandra, and I just joined the AsyncAPI initiative team to work specifically as their technical writer. And I'm very excited to work for open source specifically versus product owned thing. So yay, I'm excited to be here. And I really just wanted to join the community meetings to hear more of you and what you're building and what you're struggling or what things do or don't work or just what things you're excited about so that I can also get better ideas about improving documentation. So anyway, hello.
Hello, welcome. And in the meantime, a few other people joined. So is there anyone here for the first time and would like to introduce yourself to the community? You don't have to. It's just an option that you can use to do it. So anyone would like to jump in? Three, two, one. Okay, that's completely fine. Oh no, I see Nektarios was writing in the chat. Just so Nektarios would like to introduce, but there has some issues with mic. So once the issues are solved, just write in the chat or just start speaking. So there are two topics on the agenda, but if there's something specific you'd like to tackle during our public meeting, as usual, you have a chance to be the first one with your topic, because this is a community meeting for the community, so I can stay with my topics until the end, even if it means I will not mention them like I did last time. So is there anyone with some specific topic already that you have some questions to the community and you don't want to wait until the end of the usual agenda? Oh, Fran joined. So just if you didn't notice, Fran joined, so watch out what you're saying.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, hey. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So should I introduce myself or someone has?
If you want, it's you have this option.
Oh yeah, my name is Nektarios, and I was first introduced to AsyncAPI back in May, when I learned about it from my university. They talked us about GSOC, Google Summer of Code, and one second. They talked us about Google Summer of Code, and I found the organization, and yeah, and I got involved in a project called Simulator, essentially with Jonas Lagoni being my mentor. So the project is essentially a library that aims to use multiple various protocols like MQTT, Kafka, etc. And then an AsyncAPI file. And that way the user can specify different scenarios, send requests to various channels with the purpose of testing a backend system Yeah, testing something that an application that he has made, whether it works correctly or not. Yeah, and what we're focusing in is it being a standalone library for JavaScript, but we're also I'm also aiming to create a desktop application that uses it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fran, you wanted to say something?
And probably, yeah, I'm gonna create as soon as I have like a basic application that works, I'm probably gonna create a repo also. But I'm under the works now. It's not complete anywhere near, and yeah.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Thanks a lot for joining. Fran, do you want to say something? Because I see you showing fingers there and there. And no, that's fine. Okay. I thought you don't know that you're muted. Anyone else would like to introduce?
You weren't hearing me, right? That's how I was talking. I was speaking, and I was like, "Why is he ignoring me?" So yeah, I was just saying that if Nektarios maybe wants to share a repo or something, you know, like at some point, but he already replied. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, and definitely like one topic that we're gonna I'm gonna provide update on the conference. We would like to have. I did not yet ask directly or the GSOC participants, but we definitely would like to give GSOC participants a chance during the conference to have like 10-15 minutes lightning talks about their projects that they did, because there were pretty cool projects that were delivered with GSOC. My favorite one is a chatbot, but of course the others are also cool. But yeah, so we're gonna have a platform to share the cool projects with others. Anyone else before we jump into agenda items have something to add? I mean, we really finished holidays. The group today is amazing. So the first item from the agenda, just an update. You noticed probably during the last few or couple of meetings, I'm talking about the AsyncAPI hackathon and the conference. So just some updates from my side. We have finally a website. I just shared a link with you. So a landing page for the whole event, both hackathon and the conference. And the most two important things, one is the open collective dedicated to, oh, I already see excitement in the chat from Kim. Thank you. So there's a open collective created dedicated to the event. So a huge request from my side. If you work for a company that would like to be sponsors for the event and would like to see a logo of the company in the event and show the logo to the event participants, please get in touch with me or just directly use the open collective and share with your with managers inside the company. If you don't want to talk to them, you can just ask them to share email with me. I can convince them to donate to the conference. And like if the company did not yet sponsor the event last year, I can also provide some data and explain why it makes sense to contribute this year, how the conference was performing last year. And that's my huge request, because the money that we're gonna get from the sponsors will directly go back to the community, not only the marketing and the event organization, but also prizes for the hackathon. And the third thing, it's not yet official because I was yesterday I was still in discussions with a Linux Foundation, and because they're helping us to enable the CFP process for the conference, because we want to make sure that, like, yeah, we don't do the hacky way we did last year. Like, especially because we are now part of Linux Foundation, we need to make sure that the CFP process is as professional as possible, respecting everyone. So the link I can already share with you. I have a PR opened to update the conference website. I didn't do it yet because I'm waiting for, let's say, last OK from Linux, but the link should not change. That's the link. And there are some bits and pieces that they still have to fix in the whole process of submitting the proposal, but you can already keep the link. Latest tomorrow, it's gonna be available to use. So just yeah, wait for some Twitter or LinkedIn noise that we will generate around it. Of course, I'm gonna update the Slack as well. So that's if it comes to update on the conference preparation. So we have a website finally. We have Open Collective ready to get money from people. We have a CFP almost here, and the whole process almost here. The next steps this week, because there are many questions from people about the hackathon. Details about the hackathon. So this week I want to write a short blog post that explains like a kind of FAQ for the hackathon, to explain how it works, how people should submit ideas, etc., that there's no registration needed, what are prizes, to make it transparent. And that's it for now if it comes to the event. And this week I'm also testing another platform, because we did together with the community testing of BV tool that we got for free from Linux Foundation, but it wasn't the best experience, especially because this year we want to do pre-recorded sessions as last year, and BV is not suitable for that. So this week I'm checking Zoom events, I think the name is, and let's see how that works. I'm gonna keep you up to date with it. Any questions regarding these events? Alejandra, we don't have any rules yet for start asking, so you don't have to raise the hand. You can just freely start speaking.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if I were to tweet about and share on LinkedIn, you know, this information that you've been sharing about the Open Collective and sponsors, they are going to ask, and what's the process? And so is the process as simple as them going and choosing an option of what number to donate to that link, or do they have to specifically also talk to you about it?
They can talk to me if they want to get more details. The thing is that I personally, for example, I'm not good in doing nice things, visually nice things, so I didn't work on a prospectus. There is one community member that volunteered to work on the prospectus. I'm not sure when he'll manage to finish it. So we don't have yet anything like super nice to share. So just share that in the Open Collective, we explain more or less what the company gets in exchange for contribution, like visibility of the icons, etc., etc. And process to donate, it's as simple as from the Open Collective, choose option to donate through credit card or a regular payment. It's also available and much more recommended.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
But of course, awesome if they can write me upfront that they already send a transfer or something, so I can already start spending.
Is that okay?
Because the thing is that, like, last year, how we were spending money was that it was easier for us and cheaper, because without any special agency, it was easier for us, like me and Fran, to spend money on our own money, and then ask Open Collective just to reimburse it. So that's why, if I know there are like $5K dollars there, I can already start spending my money, because eventually I know I'm gonna get it back. So that's what I meant. And this year we're gonna do it probably the same way to speed up things.
Do we have a date when the CFPs are going to go live?
It should today. It should today. I actually asked the lady from Linux Foundation. I think she just has to fix one thing. Yeah, it was about the types of the sessions. One of the sessions that is there possible is called Bird of Fitters. I don't know how to pronounce it. Bird of Fitters. It's a kind of type of a session where you come up without an agenda, and it's like a free talk with people. That's one of the types they have usually on the CFPs. So I asked them to remove it, because for a virtual pre-recorded event, that's not really something we can get. So she's going to replace it with an option to have not just a regular presentation like 45 minutes, but also a short one, 30 minutes. So that's the only thing they need to change it. The rest is ready to use and submit. But just wait 2 days. And the cool stuff is that the platform behind the CFP, it's you don't have to submit immediately. It caches you can save your work, so you can start filling it out, but wait with submission until we say, yeah, go.
But like, it looks like it's already live. The link you gave us, linuxfoundation.smaply.io. Like, the apply link's already live. If I click through it, it prompts me to go ahead and start with the process.
Yeah. So everything is live. They just need to change one thing in the form. Okay. But it's already live, so you can already start submitting, but just don't hit like final submit button, but wait for like our confirmation that the things are changed. Or just don't click the link, wait one day more, and start writing abstract in your favorite code editor, for example. Any other questions about the event?
Really quickly, how are you weighing CFP abstracts? Are you doing a voting process?
So there will be voting process. We just don't have a group yet that will do the voting. So the application works this way, that I can invite a number of people that have access to the proposals and can vote on them. The process is pretty same as for any other Linux Foundation events, if you know how it worked with CNCF, KubeCon, or something else. So people create proposals, and then there's a admin group that can see them and provide feedback, and together decide which go through. The group is not yet formed. Last year, we were just trying to pick as independent group as possible, but the event was much smaller than this year, and we had like 4 people from different groups that were checking the proposals, and we were gonna ask few members from the community this year as well. I just don't know yet who. But yeah, definitely not just my decision, or any other single person. And actually, I will, like last time, I will not make any voting there. I don't want to be involved.
Thank you.
Jonas asked, will you utilize the TSC to be the group that will vote on talks? Or that's one of the options to ask TSC members. I'm not sure if I should add something else, Jonas, but yeah, that's an option. Not sure if the best one, but if you're asking about it, I guess the best is right after this meeting.
I actually wanted to ask if anyone could help with that. I used to do that every year for reInvent at AWS community, so not employees, but like community, AWS community people submitting talks to reInvent. And I was just curious to know if anyone could help or in any way, or I don't know, yeah, because I didn't know what admin board meant either. I was curious too.
So actually, anyone can help from the community. We just need to make sure that, like with the TSC, where we want to have the how we say it in English, balance of forces. I guess that's the kind of proper name. So whenever we gonna pick someone from the community, we just need to make sure that it's not just one single group from one company, of course. But yeah, I'm gonna share a link. So every single discussion about the event happens in our community repo in the discussion section. So right after this meeting, I'm gonna create a new discussion there to ask the community to volunteer, whoever wants to volunteer time for helping to choose the best presentations. The link to the exact discussion will be in the meeting notes, unless until the end of this meeting somebody can do it instead of me. And I'll share a link. And Jonas, if you can then in this discussion share the idea about TSC, let's discuss there. I was thinking about it, but I declined this idea, but I don't remember why. So definitely we need to think about it further. Because we need to we need two different admin groups for it. Like if we choose TSC to vote on proposals, the same group cannot vote, for example, on the hackathon projects that were submitted by the community, because I know already that few TSC members would like to participate in the hackathon. So yeah, we either pick two groups or two separate groups. Did I say the same word in two different? Yeah, sorry. We either choose two groups for two events, or one group for both. But then we need to make sure we don't involve people that actually are part of the CFP and the hackathon. Sorry.
So how many ideas will be maximum? Like, will there be like a maximum number of ideas that will be chosen for the event, or?
You mean the hackathon?
Yeah.
No, there's no limit. So
okay.
the ideas category in the discussions that you have there, it's just for giving ideas to people that want to participate, but they don't have a good idea and they would like to pick something. But it's not it's not limiting. So you can come up with whatever idea you want, how many ideas you want. There's like I said, no limits really.
No.
Okay, some questions in the chat. Do you have any idea of the expected size of the event? You mean hackathon or the conference?
The conference, if you have any, do you have a sense that based on registrations or any other, you had said earlier that this would be larger than last year.
So last year we didn't have any registration because we were streaming live to YouTube, and we recorded. It was like during the event we could see regular 200 people online watching, but in total, and I never had time to understand YouTube analytics, but in total, YouTube analytics showed us a 900 something number of people for the entire event. So not kind of makes sense because probably some people. What?
I think it was the total number of people was 2,000, if I recall correctly.
Oh, like now it's
Yes.
almost 4,000 for the entire recording.
Yeah.
It's coming close to 5,000, and but yeah, so it was between 1 and 2K for the entire event, 200 if it comes to the wave, however to name it. But you know what I mean by this 200. Like one talk had like 200, then less, then more. So it was about 200 during the whole live stream. And this year we don't have yet the registration open because of this platform thingy. So hopefully once we decide with Zoom this week, and then we will enable some registration, because this year we want to have registration even though it's for free, because we want to understand this year if the money we spend on the given marketing actually converts into registrations. Because last year we were spending sponsors' money on Twitter, Twitter sponsored tweets, and we cooperated with Women Who Code organization, but we don't really know if it made any sense really. So definitely this year we're gonna spend even more money on the marketing. We have to know how that converts into the registration, but it's not yet enabled. But we know how the community grows since March last year. Like all the numbers peaked really. You can see this call, like holidays ended and like it's full of people. Last year March we would have 4 people max, I guess. So it's gonna be definitely bigger, especially because we do combined hackathon and the conference. So through entire hackathon, we're gonna talk about hackathon and also amplify the message about the conference. So I predict that it's gonna be at least twice big as the last year. But it's a hunch rather than data. And Fran is sure it's gonna be bigger, which is cool. And also another question, also, are there any themes for the hackathon? Yeah, on the conference website, there are 3 bullet points to suggest themes. So it's not only to solve some event-driven related issues, but also there's one of the themes suggested for the hackathon is that it can be also a solution that helps understand and learn AsyncAPI spec. So for example, one of the idea I suggested for the participants would be a graphical representation of the spec, that people can use this kind of UI that they can browse through the structure of the AsyncAPI document, like interactive visualization of the spec, one of the examples. So it's on one hand some tool, on the other one some onboarding enablement, let's say, but also like with the amount of the proposals, we are not super limiting not super limited to a specific theme, as long as AsyncAPI is involved. Yeah, so for example, like this simulator that Nektarios work. Sorry, I didn't read the question. I started answering the question from the chat. So Charlton asked in the chat about the specific theme about bringing new AsyncAPI-related solutions that can solve the existing challenges the community is facing with event-driven architectures. So, the main context for AsyncAPI and AsyncAPI initiative is that AsyncAPI initiative is not just AsyncAPI spec. We also, in the community, we also maintain a number of different tools for AsyncAPI and event-driven architectures. So one of the solutions for this specific theme could be what Nektarios wants to do with the simulator. So there's a simulator that helps you out to simulate a real environment, test it, and it involves AsyncAPI documents. And his idea for the hackathon is to provide a desktop application that makes it much easier for you to design a scenarios in a desktop app still to simulate the testing environment for your architecture. So that's one of the ideas, but there can be like really many different whatever tool is missing now in from our portfolio. No worries. Any other questions about the event? Okay. So next item from the agenda is technical steering committee. So yeah, some context and the story from the past. AsyncAPI joined the Linux Foundation end of March this year. And one of the requirements was to set up an open governance model for the AsyncAPI initiative. And the open governance model that we chose for AsyncAPI initiative was to have basically, if it comes to make decisions for a single repo, then it's code owners of a given repo to decide and find consensus. But if they are not able to find consensus, or there are more complicated things to discuss than just about one repo, then we had to have a group of people that can help out making decisions and actually decide. So to make the open governance model as simple as possible, we choose the way to just have one group of people that can facilitate this the decisions making process, not going with different committees for different things to not overcomplicate. And the technical steering committee for now, it's a group of people that are code owners for repositories, for one repository, for multiple repositories. And there is one single very important rule. We wanted to make sure that there's a balance of force. I'm using this phrase again. Is it correct? Balance of force, balance of power, balance of power, I think, right?
Someone native, please jump in and solve this down.
Balance of power is the right term here.
What? Yeah.
Balance of power.
Balance of power, yeah. So to make sure balance of power is respected, there's this rule that 1/4 of the members should not be affiliated with a single company. Like, for example, Postman, there are many folks from Postman that are code owners, but these folks should not take over the project. And we finally started automating the process of grouping the people and making it visible to the community who is a TSC member. It's not yet fully automated, but the basic steps are done. So I can share with you a link. So for now, it's beautiful human readable JSON file, of course. And the group, if you didn't know, even probably some of the TSC members didn't know, is it's a number of 14 people. And only 4 people from Postman, just to make it clear.
Are there
And-
any women in the technical steering committee? Because I
No.
think I only see men.
Yeah. We need women first to contribute to the project to be in the TSC. So the
There's no
TSC,
women contributing to the project at all?
no, not on the full time, no. But you can definitely help us out to reach
That's crazy.
some group. Yeah.
It would be cool if leadership also spoke more about it online so that it would feel more inviting for women to want to try to contribute more full time. And maybe just hear about it because maybe they just haven't heard or thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have some ideas, please share with us. We tried, like I mentioned last year, we tried with Women Who Code, but that didn't work out much. Maybe because of messaging, but yeah, we're not good in understanding how to change the messaging to make it clear. But yeah, the TSC membership looks like this, that like it's not a group of like exclusive group of people that we ask to join. It's anyone who's full-time contribute, not full-time, but it's a maintainer of a specific repository. So it's engaged with the community enough to not only push his company specific code, but also engage with the code from the community. So yeah, long term, to have women here, we need to first have women engaged more, open to change it, open to ideas.
I'll send you ideas later in ways that leadership can help also try to improve the balance.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to me ask you that question.
It's a very valid question. That's like a list that is ready. It's not yet automated. It should be automated. So normally open governance model suggests that the information about TSC members actually comes from the repo itself. And then we automate building of this JSON, but it's just a technical detail. The most important is that we finally have the list that is like publicly for now visible in the repo, but there's an issue in the website already. Somebody can help and contribute the dedicated view of TSC members. That would be terrific. There's an issue already for it. But most important is not just a group of TSC members, but the voting. So long term, as you probably noticed, the way the open governance model is modeled is there are no limits in the numbers of the TSC members except of the company limit. So from number 14, it can, and I hope it's going to grow to a much bigger number. So we need some kind of nice voting app to set up. That's not done yet. So as a short-term solution, we already have a dedicated Google group that only TSC members can be members of that group, but whatever happens there is public. So you can see how the voting happens, who votes for what or doesn't vote. So that's it if it comes to updates on how the setup of the open governance model is progressing in AsyncAPI initiative. And I'm going to share with you also a link to the issue about like full automation of the process if somebody wants to help drive it further. Any questions? Okay, and like I say, last comment, like going back to questions asked by Alejandra, consider maybe the best would be if we have a separate discussion in the community repo, so it's like visible to anyone. So not only you can suggest how we can change the balance of gender in the group of technical steering committee. If you have some, if you know other people that can also bring some ideas and tell us how to do it, especially the messaging. Because like me personally, although if I'm a TSC member and it's meant to be in leadership, then yeah, I'm a leadership, I'm in leadership group, but like I personally have no idea how to communicate it publicly so it doesn't sound like artificial, like dry. Not sure what to like, that it's really authentic. So I would, yeah, again, I'm super open to suggestions.
But it's also important to remember that, you know, just like remembering that even as we're learning how to improve our messaging, that doing something is better than not doing it at all. Because like we, like women, for example, in this case, we'll definitely appreciate just like the starting attempts. And then like, obviously, we'll be very excited to give you suggestions as well.
I will start up a conversation in the async. There's been some in the OAI Slack channel as well, and I'll do it in the JSON schema, and then I'll aggregate them into a recurring meeting where we can discuss it as a group. Because I know there's quite a few folks who are concerned about this in the other communities, and then I'm also trying to really push this forward as part of breaking changes in what I'm doing as far as other conversations. So thank you for bringing up.
So just to make sure, Ken, so you suggest it's instead of the discussions in community, do it in Slack, or it doesn't really matter where we do it?
Where I would prefer having it out in the open. Sorry, there's a little noise in the background here. So what would you say, Lucas or Fran or Alejandra, is on the discussions on GitHub or in Slack? What would be better?
Oh, I really like the idea of what Lucas said originally when he told us that we could just go ahead and start the discussion publicly in the community repo. Because I think part of it is also visibility, probably as people are learning about API spec, even specifically, maybe just getting more women to be aware of it, and maybe we'll get more women volunteers. So I think it's great to have it in the community repo like Lucas suggested.
Great, I'll do that in all three OpenAPI, AsyncAPI, and JSON schemas community discussion repos. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so these were just two topics from my side on the agenda. Any other topics you'd like to mention today? How was your holidays? Mine were short.
I was going to say short as well.
Okay, so please stay tuned if it comes to the conference and the CFP. Like I said, it's going to be pretty loud anyway about the event, so you should not miss the message. And if, yeah, you want to jump out and help with the like further automation of TSC, and especially some nice UI with all the TSC members, that would be cool. Because what we managed so far, and I'm personally like my personal proud comes from it, is that we have many TSC members that are not really affiliated with any single company. But it also means for companies that would like to have members in TSC quicker than just hiring someone to start contributing to AsyncAPI. The list has also information about the given TSC member, if he's available for hire or not, or any other way of supporting his work So that's why as soon as we get this list visible in the UI, the better it is. Okay, Ayush, be ready. I will ask you. And I'm just commenting Ayush's comment that he's ready to help. Thank you. Okay, it was a long meeting with lots of questions. Thank you a lot for joining. And there's a request to
Puppy.
Kim.
You want to meet Puppy?
Is there Puppy around?
Come here. Here, come here. Hey, come here. Say hi, speaking to the microphone. She's not feeling very social today. Whoops, I almost just ate one of her snacks. Come on. Come on. Say hello. She's like, what is that? People talking to me?
Is it a boy or a
People talking to
girl?
me? Yeah, she's a girl.
Oh, she's so cute.
I agree. She's my girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell your daughter that you said that.
She knows. She's aware. That's why she moved to Korea.
Just came from you.
Okay. I was constantly checking my email if the Linux Foundation responded, but not yet. So don't fill in CFP yet. So yeah, thanks again for joining. The recording, don't count on it today. I'm gonna release it tomorrow. Arrivederci.
Thank you, everyone.